another run of RNG-A-Thon. And thank you all for the money you have raised thus far for able gamers. My name is 8valuigi. You all can just call me 8va. And I will be running a strange little category here in Wii Music called Pitch Perfect. Now, if we go back to this main menu here, don't remind me to take a break game. We've got this full game right here where we can take lessons, we can jam, we can watch our music videos. However, we've got this category right here in our main menu where it's not necessarily just this goofy game where we shake around our Wii remote and make songs. Because trust me, there is plenty of that. But if we go right here to this games section, and we go to Pitch Perfect, we've actually got a pretty unique speed game right here where Guest C will be taking the reins here, because Guest C kind of looks like me, right, chat? Of course. All right, so Guest C is being welcomed here by our guy Sebastian Toot, or as I like to call him, Meetoven. Is this Do, Mi, or Sol? You think you got it, chat? Throw me your answers. I know the answer. Oh, you have the shirt, and you're also running a Wii game from 2008? Let's go, Easy Pig. Yo, it's all good. Plenty of people butcher both my real name and my and my stream name. Anyway. Yo, 8 Kroika. You've got the right answer. All right. Anyway, so here is what we have here, lovely people of the Rogue HQ chat. We have 8 levels of 10 questions each with, that makes it 80 questions. All basic music theory, ear training, chord identification, you name it. And we're going to answer them as quickly as possible. I am the current world record holder of the category with an 18:15 time. I'm going to try and make just a couple time losses just so I can explain some things. But without further ado, in true speed game marathon fashion, let's get this started in 3, 2, 1, go. Thank you for the good luck, everybody. Thank you, Theon, former world record holder of this category, by the way. So there's the same pitch as the speaker. Okay, so that's actually kind of bad RNG. You know why? Because it wasn't the first thing that I clicked there. It wasn't the first me. All right, let's see. Oh, terrible RNG. World record pace is done. All right, so basically that's what we have going on there. Is that like... Oh, that's good RNG. So those two, I had to identify which of the two of them were the same note, and they were right next to each other. That'll prove to be useful in just about every level. All right, there's really, like, none of the RNG there actually affects anything. I just have to pick which one's highest. Okay, so that one right in the middle was the highest one. When it comes down to highest and lowest in these later levels, when it gets harder, RNG will play in here. All right, so for that, we had to identify what sounded happy versus what sounded sad. So the prompt there was, I just found the perfect pair of glasses. So that's happy. So I picked the one that was in the major key. All right, so right here, we have to identify which one played a wrong note. And it's this xylophone here. Ouch, that's real sour. Okay. Now, here we go. We gotta identify this. Oh, little tritone we got going on there. You know, they used to call that the devil's fourth. They used to think that tritones were the music of the devil. All right, so now this is just basic low to high. Okay, so now coming up, we have what we're going to call a checkerboard question. Basically, there's going to be a couple notes, or in this case, just one note that has a wrong rhythm. Each of these are going to represent half a beat. And so, because I kind of have these checkerboards like committed to memory or whatever. I can just kind of ease that one to the end. All right, so level 2, we have like a lot of the same general stuff as we had in level 1. So I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about kind of the history of this speed game here or there. Um, so basically, this. Oh, there we go. All right. So basically, this speed game, the leaderboard was started by Kefka14, who you're actually going to see running later in this weekend. He'll be running a WCW No Mercy game on the N64. Kefka was the originator of this leaderboard. And so he started it all. And the crazy thing is that he's got a pretty dang good time in the category. But if you're familiar with Insane in the Rain, a very good video game music jazz YouTuber, he had a world record in this at one point. There's been some great competition for world record. Theon, who's in the chat right now, big shout outs to Theon, had world record in this category for a long time. And then Murasaki, who has a lot of other Wii Series world records, also has a really respectable sub 19-minute time in this game. And then, interestingly enough, we have a really heated battle that happened for world record between both myself and somebody that I respect greatly. The Bassoonist 7513 is a fantastic musician and a fantastic speedrunner at pitch perfect. Both myself and the Bassoonist had 10 world record changes between the two of us in roughly 2 months. So big shout outs to Bassoonist, a big motivator for just about all of the competitive drive that I have for this game. I saw that Bassoonist just randomly got like an 1844 world record as like maybe his 3rd time or so. And that really made me want to start grinding for world record. So it was really crazy to me. All right. So that's actually kind of bad RNG because those two clarinets are actually so far apart. But yeah. I definitely agree with you on how some of these instruments, when it's the what's the wrong note, can be really, really tough. Oh, there's an Among Us reference here, so this is gonna sound spooky. Oh, what do you think, chat? Does that sound sus to you? All right. Anyway, any sussy bakas in the chat? Of course there are. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, I definitely agree with you that some of these instruments can have really similar timbres, and they can be a really huge reset point for high-level speedruns of the game. Anyway, one thing that really helped me out with figuring that out was a big shout-out to my friend Mike, because Mike randomly told me one day that if you listen to those incorrect note questions with headphones or something, you might notice that each instrument... Sorry, hold on, I gotta move these real quick. There we go. Okay, that each instrument in those which instrument is playing the incorrect note questions, their position on the screen is the same as what ear you hear them in your headphones. So it's actually kind of crazy how much of a buff using headphones or something with good speakers is towards running those categories. Ah, there's some good RNG right there. All right. So in level 4, there's actually quite a bit of RNG in the very last question here. So what happens here is there's RNG right in the very last question that basically determines. Oh my god! Sometimes working with this blue Wii remote, sometimes you just slide things right off the platforms. Anyway, in this very last question that we have here in level 4, um, depending on the way that the pattern is in the checkerboard, we are either going to have to do a frame perfect trick, or the question is going to be really easy. So basically, based on the way that the patterns align here in question 10, the first 2 notes are either going to be right on top of each other or really far spaced apart. If they're really far spaced apart, it's really easy to move them around. But if I have the first 2 notes stacked right on top of each other, I'm going to have to move the second note before the example starts playing. And I only have a couple frames to actually be able to do that. Level 8 question, yes, I agree with that. Level 8 question 5 is a very hard one. Also, the incorrect note question that's in level 8 is really hard because the harpsichord, the trumpet, and the uke all kind of have similar pitches. No, I wanted to show off the frame perfect trick, but instead I just get a freebie here where I only have to move around 2 Miis at a pretty leisurely pace. But anyway, oh man, I was really looking forward to doing the frame perfect trick. Hopefully in levels 6, 7, and 8, I might have to do some wizardry there, but we'll see. All right, so I just want to, so shout out to Mike for being a legend and telling me about the audio panning during those incorrect note questions. And then I also wanted to kind of talk about how I got into speedrunning this game because I didn't really, like, for the most part, wow, really good RNG there. For the most part, I had really barely ever played Wii Music. I had, in the past, just kind of played it and, like, shook around my Wiimote and played around with songs and did it on, like, super laggy TVs or whatever, and it wasn't fun at all. But then, my good friend Haley, aka Internet Mother from twitch.tv/Internet Mother, brought the game to me at some point. And then we had played it together. And like I saw how goofy it was, but we played this little mini game. Oh god, I actually don't know which one that was. But anyway, she had brought it over just when we were hanging out at one point, and we had played this game with both her, me, and my wife. And what had happened was we played Pitch Perfect, but in multiplayer, you literally like can do multiple Wii remotes, and then it just randomizes like who gets to answer the questions. But then I was like, wait a second. Is there a is there a speed category for this? And sure enough, there was one that had about like 25 submissions or so. Now there are 28. In case any of you are curious and want to be the 29th or so on and so forth, you can go to speedrun.com/WeMusic. There are some other funny categories like all mini games. There are some great categories like Basic Jams RTA, where you mash through the tutorial as quickly as possible. There's a 100% category where the current world record is over 5 hours. Anybody that's thinking about really, really long-a-thon, another good speedrun marathon, perhaps Wii Music 100% is for you. We should do a 2-person speed run. Yeah, shout out to Millie, aka What If Zelda Was a Girl 69. Up and coming Luigi's Mansion speedrunner. Also my wife. And yes, you are correct. Yes, there is a category called September All Genres. That is true. All right, what is your millionth customer? Yeah. Oh my god. Is that the opening the treasure chest sound from Zelda? Of course it is. Okay, so that was actually one of the most, that was actually one of the most forgiving ones for that incorrect note question, because sometimes the clarinet and saxophone will be, right next to one another. And those are really hard, even if they're on the, especially if they're on the same side, because they're such a similar woodwind timbre, it's really tough. Oh, God. Oh, wow. All right, that was a little sussy on that one. All right, this is actually one of the easiest checkerboard questions in the whole game. Let's see if I can live up to that. Yeah. So yeah, that one moves relatively slowly. Yeah, as a saxophone player, you hate the MIDI saxophone. Yeah, some of the samples in this game are pretty bad. So here we are on level 7, and level 7 and 8 are just such a marathon of horrible. The questions are so close, the answers are so close to one another. There's a lot of chromatic notes, so they're a lot closer together. And then also, they start introducing some new things. So we're actually going to have 2 checkerboards at the end of level 7 and the end of level 8. And we're also going to have to identify both 3 and 4-part harmonies. Oh boy. No. That's the worst one. So this was distorted electric guitar, but a couple of the other ones that don't sustain for nearly as long, they just stand there and tap their foot for the remaining couple beats. And so that's just really funny. But yeah. Anyway. So this is gonna have to sound super majestic here. There it is. And yo, shout out to the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, the Bassoonist7513 in the chat. Former world record. Yo! Crazy good RNG! I didn't even have to click those remaining 3 non-chord tones, because the ones that were part of that chord were all right next to one another. Alright, there's a good old minor 7 chord there. Okay, this is where these checkerboards get even tougher down the line. There's a good 1 cycle there. So yeah, when we get to the point of having these checkerboards that are really tough towards the end, there are some favorable patterns that make it a lot easier to 1 cycle them. This is a really easy one actually right here. Yep. Okay, so at this point in the Pitch Perfect meta, world record is so hard to achieve. Because you can have a run that's ahead by over 7 seconds and just throw it to RNG right here on level 8. Because in level 8, there are some patterns that you'll get in these 2 checkerboards at the end that are literally impossible to 1 cycle. And Bassoonist and Theon, if you're still in there, you can definitely back me up that your run is over when some of these things are just not in the most primes of scenarios. Oh, level 8, question 5. Yep, it's coming up. This one's also hard. Level 8, question 4. Okay, never mind. We have the steel drum right there all the way on the left side, which you can hear very clearly if you use headphones. But anyway, yeah. Okay, this is really tough. Oh, oh God! I had the timpani. I had the timpani pitch down. I knew it was the lowest one, but it's just the Wii remote wasn't cooperating with me. Okay, this one's weird, actually, because it borrows the same samples from level 2, and it's the only question in the run that does that, where it's just literally, like, basically the same question. Oh boy. So now we have to move around these pianos, which isn't that hard for pitch-related reasons, but they're super clunky hitboxes around them, so it's really tough to move them around. And I guess another thing that's worth noting is that when you get into the later levels of the run, the instruments that are playing the harmonies versus the ones that you have to put down. Oh my God, this is one cyclable, are different. Ah, I messed it up. That was doable though. Ah, that's too bad. That is really too bad. All right, so now when I am hitting the clear button right after this level is over, that'll be time for time. This is also a tough one cycle. Oh God, not even close. There it is. There it is. Lovely people of the chat. The run is over. And there's time. All right. Lovely people of RNG-A-Thon, thank you so much for having me on the stream. I really appreciate you all. And thank you all so much once again. I'm 8valuigi. I'm a music teacher. I'm a Wii Music speedrunner. I am a Crash Bandicoot speedrunner. And thank you all so much for having me again, and enjoy the rest of the marathon. There are some awesome runs coming up, and there were some awesome runs before me, by the way. Those Clubhouse Games runs were incredible. And the Yoku's Island Express was an absolute ball, no pun intended. But oh my God, a pinball game that's also a Metroidvania? Sign me up. All right. Thank you all so much once again. Any admins that are in here, let me know if I am good to hit that stop streaming button.
We'll get you transitioned over in a second. Yeah, we'll transition over in just a second. But 8va, absolutely great speedrun. Just a joy to watch. Give it up in the chat. You're getting all the GGs. Thanks so much for that great run.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for the GGs, everybody. Shout out to the Wii Music people in the chat. And shout out to my Twitch community in the chat. Love you all.